Hello YouTube, April 8th, 2019. I'm here with a quick video. A little bit late for this topic, but I said I'll still touch on it for a minute anyway. So, Rihanna, honey, decided to come out, and you can just tell by my nonchalantness that I'm just so over it with the hypocrisy. So, Rihanna, the Fenty Queen, honey, came out with a shade, right? And I'm just going to include it right here. So she came out with a shade, innocent enough, it was called Geisha Chic. Would you believe that the Asian community overall had the audacity to unite and darn on force her to rename the darn on the shade simply because it is quoted the fetishized darn on Asian culture. It is designed to fetishize Asian culture, and then Fenty Beauty immediately obliged and darn immediately just cowered down and changed it within a matter of, I think, 24 hours and said they're gonna quickly darn change the name and everything. All of that happened within like a total of 72 hours. Now, the problem I have with that is the fact that the Asian community, and when I say Asian, I mean everybody. I'm talking about China, Japan, Korea, Vietnamese, Tahitian. Everybody had the audacity to have the unified front to say that this simple darn shade was fetishizing Asian culture. But I want y'all to take a look of what Asian people have a history of doing on a daily basis to black people, which is actually, I had to go as far as to say this, they are bold enough to be more arrogant than white people here in America. Because I want y'all to see this real quick. So as y'all looking at these images, and this is not from one particular country, I'm going to highlight China and Korea and Japan. All of them, as a global front, are known to put on blackface and walk down the street like it's normal. If that ain't fetishizing, what is? And then when they get called out on it, they just say, oh, it's a part of the culture. No, we highlighting the Africans. You highlighting the Africans. Number one, that's a contradiction in yourself. You look as black as darn tar. You talking about highlight. Bitch, you was darn pitch black. With red oversized lips. Just darn blatant. We over here complaining about Gucci and Vera Wang and all of them. But at least they are able to get some backlash and feel some type of heat from us over here in the darn states. And then white people, how racist the Klan and shit is, we don't have to deal with the whole motherfucking country going down the street and celebrating blackface without no fear of consequence. Because you see, at least in the United States, people who darn wore blackface back in they darn old days in the 60s and 70s, back in the time during Jim Crow, where they thought black people would never have a voice. The darn nail their ass to the motherfucking cross. And you see how they darn getting fired for their jobs and shit for stuff they did back in the darn 70s. But you got whole countries of Asian folks doing this shit in 2019. And then they've been called out about it. And they still do it to this day. When they know the history of darn what that look is towards somebody like myself. But they get to use the excuse that they highlighting the culture. If you was highlighting blackness so much, how come you don't highlight the darn black people in your motherfucking tribes of people? Because let me go ahead and show you some images of darn black darn Asians that are not mixed with any foreign black. Like, they're not half African, like, you know, from the direct continent in Asia. It's like, no, these are the original people. Now, of course, they descend from Africa, but these are the original people here that created the ones that are mocking us right now, if this makes sense. And so it's ironic that they darn mad at Rihanna for fetishizing the geisha culture, but y'all do not take kind of highlighting your own people from these beautiful ones right here. China goes as far as to hide them in a foreign land and darn make sure nobody can't get to them. Then you got darn Japan All they media make sure you don't see no signs of the darn on black ones at all. I mean, it's just crazy. But meanwhile, you got them darn on permanent hair. They get the afros and stuff. And I mean, just full on tutorials. And I'll leave some videos down below. Some YouTubers I watched that just that showcase the whole thing. And I'm just looking, just don't have no words to say. I mean, it is more confusing than darn on white races here because, like I said, at least there is some accountability when white races over here get checked. But the difference between white supremacy here and white supremacy in Asia is like it's literally practiced as a whole country because in 2019, I honestly could say I do not see a group of tens of thousands or even hundreds of white people today, no matter how racist they is, being comfortable enough to put themselves in blackface and think they're going to have a job tomorrow. Or think they're going to be looked at in a positive light tomorrow. But in Japan, in Korea, in China, they can't. But then they want to have an audacity to call out people like Rihanna because they also got on Rihanna in the past for her darn Fine China video. And then I think Beyonce even got a little backlash when her and Destiny Child went to perform over there. Oh no. They got on Beyonce, not for that, but this is a flashback of her and Destiny Child. But they got on her for playing an Indian woman in the Coldplay video. And I thought it was mighty ironic that, you know, both videos with Rihanna and Beyonce dressed up in Asian attire was actually a feature for Coldplay, but Coldplay never got called out. They called out the woman who was the feature both times because I think Rihanna was a feature in that China video. I don't think that was her lead video either. So it was mighty ironic that both of them was, you know, features for Coldplay, yet Coldplay never got called out. Okay. So once again, an example of the white man is able to darn on profit off the likeness of the blackness, get the darn on use the Asian culture, and then the black woman gets all the darn on heat. Yet the black woman was darn on serving it up, in my opinion, better than the Asian woman ever could. But we darn on have Beyonce and Rihanna dressed up in Asian, darn on actually upgrading your standard of beauty. And instead, y'all have the audacity to say somebody's fetishizing you. But you going around actually looking like dang on monkeys. You painting yourself up in pitch blackness. And if this doesn't apply to you, and then let it darn on slide on by. I know this ain't all Asians, but it's enough for y'all. When I'm able to see the whole damn country for the most part in total darn on agreement with this. Because there has been polls and stuff done. People have gone out there and gotten opinions from darn on people of multiple generations, and it seems like over 50% of y'all is okay with this shit and don't think that there's a problem with it. But y'all had the audacity to get on Rihanna and talk about somebody's fetishizing. What are y'all thoughts about this? I like I said, I can't even give too much thought about this. It's just sad. Let me drink my water. Oh, hell, I'm going out of focus, y'all. But yeah, have the audacity to darn on cop an attitude. I felt pissed off that darn on Fenty backed down like a bitch and darn on change the shade. I would have darn on kept it and would have challenged them to darn on change up their rhetoric first. But of course, you know, with Rihanna being a Bayesian girl, honey, she's Barbados, honey. So of course she wasn't going to do it, honey. It wouldn't have paid for it. Let me have a makeup line, bitch. Matter of fact, I think I create a shade called Oriental and darn gonna have a beautiful darn on model darn gonna wear it, and I dare for them to say anything. I change my motherfucking shade when you darn gonna take that pitch char off your motherfucking face. Honey, that's how arrogant I be. Had the audacity to have a motherfucking attitude, and you throughout the whole world, not even the country, throughout the whole motherfucking world, Korea, Japan, and darn on China. All on one accord. Now, I mean, that's just some sick shit. But y'all tell me y'all thoughts on Asian people having the audacity to come for Rihanna. Yet they have the history of doing all this blackface in their country and it don't get addressed at all. Don't get picked up by the American. Well, hell, we know why it ain't getting picked up by the American news, because hell, we see what some of our own people do. But like I said, at least they darn gonna feel somewhat of a shame when they shit comes to light. These Asian people, I give them something. At least they double down on their shit. They darn gone. They stand firm in it. They stand firm in they darn on racism and profiting off of the darn on blackface. But meanwhile, they don't never highlight they darn on black people in those Asian countries from which they darn on descend from. But like I said, that's just my thoughts on it. On Asian and they darn on foolishness. I think they are low down, sorry, trifling piece of darn on. I can't even say shit because shit has some form of renewable resource. I went in darn on find something to even compare to these darn on folks. And like I said, this is not all darn on Asian folks, but it is over 50% of y'all. And the darn on minority that don't follow this bullshit, y'all need to get the majority together. Like I said, this is a case where it's worse than white folks here. I mean, at least I can say white folks over here, the majority is not racist. They just racially complacent. But this over here in Japan, Korea, and darn gone China, no. So like I said, y'all leave y'all thoughts, comments, and suggestions down below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all soon with more videos. Hopefully the next one be more positive because like I said, y'all can tell even by my demeanor, I'm just over.